Okay, so Mutant Mayhem has just come out, and that of course leads us with another brand new post-credit scene, and this one is really great and amazing for setting things up for this future, for this universe, which does lead on to quite a few new theories and questions that I don't think many people had before going into this movie. But going into the sequel for this movie, I got a feeling a lot of people are going to be wondering a lot of things. Okay, so let's start things off. Okay, so we're going to see Donatello, he's in school, he's taking a video of things, and that's when we do get to see his new friend group, which is a bunch of tech geeks, which I must admit is pretty cool, and I must admit it does really fit his character, and something which I would like to see them explore in the future movies and stuff like that, because I've got a feeling that could lead on to some pretty interesting and really funny moments for Donatello, so yeah, that could be really great. So in the next scene we do get to see Raphael, he's doing some wrestling, and again with this scene here, there's not really too much I can really say about it. It's there, it fits his character, it's almost perfect for his character, it's just so great. So in the next scene we do get to see Mikey, and he's in his improv class, which he was signed up for at the beginning of the movie when he did first enter the school, and I must admit this bit here was pretty great and interesting, just seeing Mikey just doing some improv, and just really leaning into the comedy side of things, turning, you know, like the Nikes into Crikes. It's just so amazing, just fits his character so well. And I must admit, I do want to see a lot more of this version of Mikey. He seems like a really great and amazing character. And now that he's learned to do improv, I got a feeling there is potential to see and hear a lot more amazing and pretty interesting things in this universe. Okay, so while I was editing the video, I actually noticed something pretty interesting about Mikey's t-shirt in this scene, and this t-shirt is actually the one which he's wearing in the toy for the TMNT party pack, I think it's called, or something along those lines, where basically it's just a 4-pack of turtles in different costumes, and this is the exact same t-shirt he was wearing in that toy. So yeah, just a little fun little detail that I noticed, but yeah, it's there. Okay, and then going into the next scene, we do get to see April and Leonardo. They are setting things up for the future of this universe in terms of story with Tisa Rai, Cynthia Utrom and stuff like that. And in this scene, we do get to see them talking about Tisa Rai. They more or less packed things up and then moved away, which I must admit I do find interesting. Just because again, with this universe, no one really knows about like these characters, which I do find interesting. So why are they running away? So I do find that to be pretty interesting. Now on this board, I must admit it's a little bit hard to actually find any details just because it's somewhat blurry in terms of the photos I've got so far, and I've got a feeling that when we do see it in HD we're going to find a lot more interesting details, but as of right now there's not really too many details I can find in this scene, but it's somewhat interesting with one which I did find. Okay, with the little Easter egg I was able to find in this scene, it was a mouser on the board. Now this little bit here shouldn't really be a big oh my god moment. Now my theory for Baxter Stockman is that at the beginning of the movie we do get to see the soldiers go into his home and they do shoot things and an explosion goes off. The soldiers never mention that he's dead or anything like that, and I do find that to be a really interesting fact. Now we do get to see in this scene there is a mouser. Now the only person in the TMNT universe who builds mousers are Baxter Stockman. Now why would Tisa Rai have mousers? Not really got too much clue. Maybe going out trying to find the turtles through the sewers, but at the same time they didn't know that the characters were living in the sewers, so I got a feeling that it's probably not them building machines. So I think it could be Baxter Stockman, and I do think that he could be alive. Now this, I wouldn't be too surprised if maybe we did go down the route of the 2003 show where Baxter Stockman was more or less out of the public eye and was working with Agent Bishop behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. Which I must admit, if I do that approach, then I do think that could be really interesting, really great, and have that big shock, oh my god, reveal in like the sequel or the third movie, which would be really great. And yeah, that's pretty much all it is for that scene. So then going into the next scene, we do get to see the turtles at prom. Not really so much I can really say there, but I do get to see Cynthia Utrom is actually spying on the turtles. Now this scene here, again, there's not really too much I can really say about it. She's there, she's watching them, and I must admit I do find it a little bit creepy the fact that she has access to be able to see the turtles in public and no one really knows about it. So I do find that to be a really interesting little detail, but at the same time I'm wondering how that's going to play into the following sequels. Just because if she has that kind of power to see where the turtles are at all times, then it is pretty interesting. And if anything, this may be the reason why maybe Batista Ryan might be able to know that Toad's living in sewers because of like security cameras and stuff like that. But at the same time, you would think that maybe she would send down the soldiers to go down and find them. So I'm not really too sure what they're going to be doing in this scene or where it could lead. But it's somewhat interesting to know that she has this kind of power, and it's a little bit scary for this universe, but it could be interesting. So then going into the final scene, which I gotta admit is probably the big oh my god moment, and we do get to see the Shredder, and oh my god, where do I even begin with this scene? Oh my god, where do I even begin? It's just perfect. The music, everything about it, animation, lighting, near perfect I was even had to say. And it's just so amazing. But with that being said, now this little bit here does open up a lot more questions and answers, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle all this stuff in the sequel. Now Shredder in this movie is pretty interesting just because in the original version of this movie, he was supposed to be in this movie, but they wanted to make like the actual main villain an actual mutant just so that there can be a bit more parallels between the turtles and the villain. So I do find that interesting that he's still included in this movie, even if it is just a, the stand-in. So it will be interesting to see how much he plays into the total story and how much of a big threat he's going to be. But I've got a feeling with how they're going to be doing stuff like this in the future, I've got a feeling he's going to be a big threat and just an amazing character to watch overall. Now Shredder in this universe, he seems like an assassin type character, and a character which not many people know about, which I do find pretty interesting. But with that being said, how do these characters know each other? Now, I wouldn't be too surprised if maybe these characters have come across each other in the past, or maybe even been working together or something like that. I wouldn't be too surprised. And if anything, it could be an interesting little detail that maybe he might have something to do with Hamato Yoshi and something like that. But at the same time, I've got a feeling they're probably going to stay away from that whole origin stuff with Hamato Yoshi, but at the same time, you never know. But of course, with that being said, this also just leads on to one big theory which I do have as of right now, and that is Shredder an Utrom? Now in Mutant Mayhem we do get to see Cynthia Utrom, and she is a big villain in this movie, and it's definitely going to be a big bad in the following sequels to come. But with that being said, we actually never get to see the actual Utrom inside of her, so maybe there may be a small little possibility that she may not even be an alien. But with that being said, we know that in the 2003 show, the show took a different approach to Shredder and made him an Utrom. Now, I'm sort of wondering if they could take that approach and actually make him Sherelle again, or who knows, they could do something pretty interesting and make him Krang. So, and there are a lot of things to be had about this whole new Shredder. Maybe he is an Utrom, maybe he's not, and stuff like that. So I do find that to be pretty interesting to see where they could take things for this universe and stuff like that. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. Do you like the idea of maybe the Shredder being a Utrom, or maybe being Krang and stuff like that? And yeah, that's game it for today guys. If you do something, please share, like, subscribe and all stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.